Good evening. We're going to get started right on time. I'd like to officially welcome you all and call this meeting of the Manheim Township School Board to order. Welcome everyone here in person and those joining us online. Our district's mission, nurture, and challenge for success is a reminder of our intent to enable every student to learn, grow, and thrive. Now, please join me in doing the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, we're going to get into our announcements. First off, I just want to acknowledge that our colleague, Mrs. Hentz, is not here in person this evening, but she is attending over the phone. Mrs. Hentz, are you there? I didn't mean to test her like that. I think she's there.
I am here. Thank you. The unmute is not showing up until I get a call that a notice that says I'm supposed to unmute. So
okay.
I don't know how to bring that band up. It comes up and then it disappears. So I am here. I will listen in. If I don't respond, don't worry about me.
I am glad to hear that, Mrs. Hentz. We'll get through it together. If you do have a question, though, don't be shy. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Will do.
Our next announcements are, again, members of our community, just like Mrs. Hentz, are encouraged to participate in board meetings in person or online. In support of both transparency and community engagement, recordings of meetings can now also be watched afterwards on our district's YouTube channel. Now, just a reminder for tonight that we'll have our work session here in anticipation of our voting meeting starting next week, our voting meeting next week, excuse me. And then starting at 7:30, we will have a special board meeting where we are hear from applicants for our vacant board seat. The board will vote on an appointment for this vacancy next week, with the oath of office to be administered at the facilities meeting of the whole meeting on April 2nd. I am also happy to share again that we are on track to appoint a substitute superintendent at next Thursday's meeting, and we will share more information on that next week. Finally, I'd like to share, I hope everyone had the chance to look around and also in the district office lobby about some of the artwork on display. It is sprouting from our boardroom and lobby, in fact. And this is all art from Mrs. Grove. Mrs. Grove is a kindergarten through 4th grade teacher at Booker Elementary on days 1 through 5, and then also works over at Nitschauer on days 5 and 6. We have art from all 4 different age groups here, and I'm going to read about each of them. Also, I was definitively not an art major. So if I have some mispronouncements or, I get a name wrong, we're all welcome to get through it together, so feel free to correct me. But I'll start with the kindergartners. Students in kindergarten learned all about texture and how the way something looks and feels can be incorporated into a work of art. Our kindergartners use different texture plates and surfaces around the room, like on the bottoms of chairs, to add different textures to our pizza slice creations. You can see them on the front there. Our first graders, I believe they're out in the display case. After learning about imaginary rainbow character Roy G. Biv, students created colorful portraits of what they imagine this person might look like. During our next lesson, students learned about warm, cool, and neutral colors and created the pets of Roy G. Biv by drawing hot dogs and cool cats in a 3D pop-up room. Students in 2nd grade created landscape paintings that were inspired by the landscapes of Grant Wood. They've created a visual texture in their artwork by using crayons and texture plates followed by watercolor paint. Students were able to create any type of landscape, and many used their imagination freely in this lesson. Our third graders learned about the balance and proportion of shapes while studying two different artists, Giuseppe Arcimboldo. See, that's a Renaissance painter, not familiar with their work, and Jason Messier, a contemporary college artist, and learned about how they used foods to create portraits of people. Before beginning, students created lists of different foods they like and learned about what it means to have a balanced diet. Now, out in the display case, other third grade students created cupcake sculptures inspired by the paintings of American artist Wayne Thiebaud. These works were created out of model magic and used an additive approach to sculpting as students attached pieces to make their desserts look more realistic and more delicious. And finally, our fourth graders learned about one-point perspective and the history of the first public aquariums. This lesson required students to practice drawing lines with a ruler to create the illusion of depth and space in their aquariums. After coloring, students used liquid watercolor, some with glitter, to paint their watery backgrounds. And so I would just like to take a moment to thank Mrs. Grove and all their students for sharing their beautiful artwork with us here in the lobby and in our district office. And so thank you. And now, finally, for the last of our announcements, there was some discussion for folks who attended or listened to our facilities team meeting last week about the bidding process for phase 2 of our campus master plan that we wanted to readdress. There was a question that wasn't exactly answered. So, Mrs. Robbins, can I pass that over to you?
Sure, thank you. The bid advertisement for Landis Run Intermediate School parking expansion and the new maintenance facility site work projects will run in the Lancaster newspaper 3 times over the next 3 consecutive weeks, specifically March 17th, 24th, and 31st. The advertisement will also be posted on the district's website under the Business Office tab. We anticipate the website posting to occur no later than early next week once the bid documents are finalized. Interested parties may also request the bid documents by contacting the Manheim Township School District Business Office.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Robbins. Good to have you back. And that is the end of our announcements for this evening. And so we are on into information only, our first and only presentation of the evening, our winter athletic end of season wrap up. Mr. Hollenbach, our athletic director, welcome.
Good evening, school board members. We'll get right into it here with our boys basketball team. Finished for the first time since the 2021 season. Actually, there's a few of them in the crowd here over here. Give a shout out to them. Also over there. First time since in 5 years that we made the postseason in district. So super proud of them. We got unlucky. We finished in a tie for second place in Section 1. Lost out on a very close tiebreaker to Cedar Crest, but we were playing very well at the end of the season. So I was hoping we would get into, so they could show what they could do there in the LL playoffs. But above 500 season for them, and super proud of those guys. Girls basketball, what can we say about them? Another tremendous year, 20-25 record. I think that's their 3rd straight year with 20 or more wins. Last year they made the finals. Unfortunately lost the final on our home court to a really, really good Lebanon team. This past year, we finally got over the hump. First time since 2014 we won the LL League title. I'm not sure if any of you guys were able to make the game. It was an awesome atmosphere for our kids. I know, again, looking around, we have some of them here tonight. I have some of the fans that were in attendance that night in the student section. It was a really, really great experience for our kids, and super proud of them. They qualified for districts, ran into a tough Central York team, but again, really made us proud with that first league title since 2014. Girls wrestling, we had an awesome year, 17-6. This year was the first year at the district level that they did team duels for districts. So we were able to qualify as a team for districts for the first time in school history. We drew Boiling Springs, unfortunately lost in a close match, but awesome season for the team. We had some great individual, as far as the team goes at the league championships, it's an individual style event where they compete in their individual weight classes, and then they kind of add up the points as they go through each round. Our team lost to Hempfield in the regular season in a dual match. but then we were able to overcome them in the league championship meet, and we became league champions for the first time in school history. So that was a pretty awesome honor for them. Eva Bounds was the 130-pound champion. She kind of came out of nowhere as a freshman this year to kind of shock the world at that weight class, and then it ended up eventually going to on to districts and states as well. We had 8 district qualifiers there, which you see listed, and then 2 state qualifiers in Eva and Layla. In addition, wrestling, there's a kind of a midpoint between leagues and districts called sectionals. We went out to Dallastown, and our team actually won that sectional out at Dallastown as well. Got a cool trophy, which you see there in one of those, the top picture there. I wanted to give one wrestler in particular a huge shout out, Layla Colon. She's a senior this past year. She has represented our school with the utmost class, and we're going to miss her a ton. She finished her career with a 4th place finish at states. I remember her my first year as a young freshman, and it's just been incredible watching her grow. Crazy story about her. So we got to host districts, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. She needed to win a match to qualify for the state tournament. That also happened to be her 100th career win. So you can imagine the pressure that was on her, on her home court there, or her home mat, in front of all of her family and friends. And it was a really, really awesome moment for us to celebrate that 100th win on the mat and get her to states. And she made us all proud, finishing 4th in the state at 142 pounds. So congratulations to Layla.
Mr. Hollenbeck, I believe she's right behind you.
Super proud of you, kiddo. Boys wrestling, tremendous year as well. 9-7 overall as a team. We had 2 league champions individually with Frank Lianza and Colton. Before I get there, either of them here? All right, good. Frank is a freshman, so kind of like Eva, very awesome experience for him as a freshman to come in and dominate as much as he did. I think he ended up losing maybe 6 matches the entire season as a freshman. So, and then Colton had a really, really awesome year at the 285. We had 4 district qualifiers who were listed there below: Brendan, Frank, Colton, and Max, and then our 2 state qualifiers. And then giving Frank a little bit of a shout out there, he also finished 4th in the state as a freshman. In the state quarterfinals, he actually knocked off a 3-time state medalist convincingly. It was a really, really great achievement for him. So congratulations to Frank on an awesome year. Our rifle team finished 9-5. They were 3rd place in the league. They kind of fly under the radar a little bit, but we do our best to make sure we're pumping up their matches and promoting them as best we can. We had they finished 3rd in the regular season, but they were 2nd in the league championships over at Conestoga Valley. And then Gretchen Farney and Andrea Warren were 2 all-stars for our team. Indoor track, we had 1 state qualifier for the Pennsylvania Track and Field Coaches Association meet, which is the de facto state meet in the winter. Indoor track's not officially a PIAA sport. Tons of PRs and a lot of kids that use the indoor track season to continue on from cross country or maybe just start up if they haven't done anything in the fall to build themselves up for the spring track. But so I won't mention all those names, but Emerson Hardy had a tremendous year in pole vault, and she finished 13th in the state in that event at Penn State a couple weeks ago. Unified Bocce, which we just started a couple of years ago. For the 3rd straight year, they made the playoffs, third place in the regular season, and then lost a heartbreaker over at Ephrata a few weeks ago to Penn Manor in the championship. But again, tremendous program, great experience for those kids. We'll actually tomorrow be getting our Unified Bocce, Unified Track, and our Best Buddies Club, Unified Buddies Club together to go over to McCaskey for a Special Olympics polar plunge, which we're excited about. We got about 40 kids going, so that'll be tremendous. Girls swimming, I'm a little tired because I've been driving back to Bucknell here the last couple of days watching them. So finished as the section champs and the league champs. I believe they were either third or fourth in the district, District 3. You can see there all the league champions. Out of 11 events, we won 8 of them. So that should tell you how solid our girls swimming team is this year. We finished with 2 district champions. Adora Mua in the 53, and then Cami Schwartz in the 100 breast were our 2 district champions. And then you can see there on the list below all of our district medalists. We had 6 girls that are up at states right now at Bucknell. I'm proud to report Cami Schwartz finished with a state medal in the 200 IM individual medley last night. She also swam fantastic this morning, and she will be competing for a 100 breast state title at about 7:30 tonight. So if the board meeting finishes, anybody around here that wants to check that out, she'll be swimming later tonight. So proud of her and all of her accomplishments as a senior, and we're hoping that she can end her career with a she'll get a state medal no matter what, but it'd be awesome if she did as well as she can. So boys swimming finished as a league runner-up. And the LL League's Section 1 runner-up. And then we had 7 district qualifiers there: Cole, Kent, Evander, Micah, Vin, Parker, and Andres. And then we had our divers. This is the first since I've been here as the AD. We had 3 district qualifiers, which is the most we've had. And we had 2 district medalists. So Haley Marino and Tyler Skolnick both placed 8th at districts, which is, in my time, again, the first district medalist that we've had. So very, very proud of them. Bowling, a little bit of a rebuilding year. Not sure if you guys remember from a couple years ago, our bowling team won the state championship. We've lost pretty much all the kids. I think we returned one student athlete from that team. So we've been rebuilding that program. A lot of new faces, but I had the pleasure of watching them a ton this year. They were a great group to be around. Awesome, energetic new coach. And they finished 3rd in their section. And we had Aiden Sophias, who was our lone student athlete who qualified for regionals and represented us really well at regionals. Just some highlights from the winter that I wanted to make sure you guys are all aware of. Just ways that I feel like I want to highlight our event staff and the people who work in our athletic department. In the winter, because our facilities in our gym and our arena are very nice, we do get to host a lot of different events. So we hosted the LL Wrestling Championships on the 23rd and 24th. So we have 6 mats. It's a long setup. I want to give credit to our wrestling programs. They come out after a basketball game on the Thursday night, and they're there setting up till 10 o'clock. It's a really big endeavor, but we're excited to host it every year. We hosted both LL basketball championships. One, obviously, we were lucky that our girls were in, and one that was pretty sweet. But we also hosted 2 District 3 basketball championships. The Giant Center this year did not have the availability to host, so they called upon us as athletic directors to host, and we stepped up and hosted 2 pretty big games. One being a District 6A girls final. So there was well over 1,000 people at the game, and it was a really, really cool experience. And I feel like our staff really represented Manheim Township well. We also were called upon to host the District 3 Girls Wrestling Championships. And this one, I really want to give kudos to our team. Mini-thon was Friday night, and so was District Swimming. And we had people that were there helping, whether it was teachers, custodians. Dave Heffley, one of our custodians, was there with us till 1:30, 1:40 in the morning, flipping that to make sure we could get wrestling going the next day for the girls. And then obviously to have a moment like we did with Layla and Eva, it was a pretty cool experience having that happen. Just real quick, just some perspective for us. You can kind of see over the last 4 years where we rank across the LL. We are far and away, crushing it in terms of our success. It's not all about wins and losses, but just so you can see, I mean, we are really, really tearing it up, and then also across the district level as well. I think maybe in the past we were kind of like, I don't know that we'll ever be on the level of a Cumberland Valley or a Central Dauphin. We're there, and we're if anything, we're above them right now. So we're really, really proud of our kids, our coaches, our staff, and we really hope that we can keep this thing going. March 2nd, we started spring sports, and we're excited for another spring season. Another promo I want to give a shout out to is our Athletic Leadership Council, our Student Athlete Leadership Council. We meet monthly. Would love to have anybody out that wants to come check that out. A couple of those guys are in this room right now. Really teaching things, beyond the X's and O's that we can kind of, again, it's not all about winning and losing games. It's about being a good teammate, teaching life skills, that kind of thing. And we're super proud of that. So that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hollenbach. Well, you might not be off the hook. There might be questions for you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hollenbach?
I just wanted to ask if we could recognize some of the student athletes, the Student Athlete Leadership Council that you just mentioned.
Sure.
Our champion who wouldn't stand up, but I really
anybody that's in that council here, do you guys mind standing up for them?
We just love to recognize you.
Yep. And these guys, I think the last one, they show up early and they, our attendance has been great. So they're doing a great job. The participation, you're always wondering how much you're going to get, and they've taken it serious and they're learning a lot, I think, and we're enjoying it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? I'll say, my daughter is a part of the junior high girls wrestling program, and just I think from 7 to 12, great. The culture, the support, and the mutual appreciation on that team was just awesome to see. So really proud of their success and just all the student athletes that we have this winter season. I know we have a couple of folks from LMP here. I wonder if these last two slides showing our titles, maybe we could get that in the paper or some other way. I think that's pretty spectacular. So, and also I'll just say in terms of our ability to host district and regional championships, so that's another part of why I'm looking forward to continuing to invest in our facilities around Journey Field and the football stadium to continue to have our ability to, the district's ability to host those events year round. So thank you, Mr. Hollenbach.
Shout out to the girls, junior high girls wrestling team who won the middle school league championship. And I think we're also top in PJWs as well across the state. So we got some good up and comers.
Yeah, exciting times ahead. Thank you, Mr. Hollenbach. Okay, we are now on to item 3 in our agenda, which is action for our March 19th voting meeting. So these are issues that we'll talk about now to vote on next week. First up is item A, our recommendation to approve a contract for Dr. Oliver Dreon to present to the Manheim Township staff on August 18th, 2026 in the amount of $1,500. Welcome, Dr. Gillis and Mr. Good. I don't see
you just
Mr.
got
Good.
me tonight.
Dr. Gillis, you're welcome.
Well, I wish I had something as exciting as the athletics to talk about here, but something that we're pretty excited about on behalf of the district's artificial intelligence team, we are recommending a speaker being able to come in, Dr. Oliver Dreon. He is a current Millersville University professor, over 30 years of experience at the K-12 level as well as now at the college level. He has spoken both nationally and internationally on topics involving artificial intelligence, how it can be used inside of the classrooms, ethical considerations, and it would be a great way for us to not only continue the work that we're already doing now, but to also be able to start our school year to kind of set the tone for things and just be a way to kind of invigorate our staff and our teachers. So we're looking forward to being able to have him come in. We met with him one time before, talked to him a little bit. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he's got a lot of great things to be able to share with all of us. So we're excited to be able to have that as an opportunity for us at the beginning of the 26-27 school year.
Thank you, Dr. Gillis. I know Dr. Schaefer and your team previewed that for a little bit for us last month. I know we were all pretty excited. Are there questions from anyone on the board for Dr. Gillis? Oh, Mr. Rivera.
Not so much a question, but a comment. I've gotten to know Dr. Drown quite a bit because he's supervises student teachers. So he is truly a wealth of knowledge, and I'm glad he's coming here to help us impart some of that knowledge on it.
Thank you.
Oh, Ms. Lamb.
Yeah, he spoke at the Lancaster Education Foundation breakfast last year, and there were so many great things that people said about him. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you.
We've heard nothing but positive things, so we're excited.
All right. Sounds great. If there's nothing else, Dr. Gillis, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we are on to item B, a recommendation to approve Dr. Jessica McCardle as an alternate to Mr. Ramon Rivera on the Lancaster County Career and Technology Center Board. I might just kick it over to you, Mr. Rivera, to set the stage on this.
I don't really have much more than what you said, but at the previous meeting I was at, they suggested we have one. It's really important that somebody's there every board meeting since they only meet once a month. And so we asked, Colleen was kind enough to also ask if there was anything in particular we needed. Just it has to be voted on by the board. So it's kind of a formality, but I'm glad you're interested.
Dr. McCardle, thank you for stepping up and supporting in the event that Mr. Rivera is unable to attend. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Marshall, for helping us make that happen. Any other thoughts or questions? All right. Moving right along to a similar item, recommendation to approve Mrs. Joanne Hens to serve on the Lancaster Lebanon Intermediate Unit 13 Board of Directors beginning July 1st, 2026. Mrs. Hens, do you want to share anything? You've kind of set the stage with us, so I could try to represent it, but if you're there, happy to hear from you.
Yes, it's a privilege to represent the district at the IU board meetings, but you do have to be reassigned every year, and apparently that somebody keeps track of that. So that is why this is coming to you now. I need to be reappointed to stay on that board.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Hens. I think you've done a spectacular job representing the school district with that board, and I am so grateful for your continued service. Any thoughts or questions from anyone on the board? Okay, I look forward to voting on that next week. We are moving on to item D, a recommendation to approve the first reading of the following policy with final approval in April. Policy 113.3, screening and evaluations for students with disabilities. Dr. Ryman, welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Grenter. Good evening, school board. 113.3 is about the evaluation of students to determine eligibility for special education services. It references the requirements for screening students with special education services as well as educational evaluations. A portion of the policy refers to independent educational evaluations, or as we say, IEE, which is a portion that we are looking to recommend edits for. The edits that the board sees this evening are supported by Amber Mentz as our Director of Special Education, as well as Brooke Say, who is our Special Education Solicitor through Saxton and Stump. There's really two primary edits as you look through it. The first being a matter of title nomenclature. It mentions Director of Pupil Services throughout the policy, but really those requests and inquiries should be routed through our Director of Special Education. So that's one adjustment. And the second one that's there is the expansion of the wording regarding the timeline that will help us to both honor federal and state guidelines and give the district appropriate time to gather information and respond appropriately. So right now, the way it's written, in response to a request for an IEE, within 10 days, the district has to either initiate a due process hearing or issue correspondence with necessary stipulations indicating that we will pay for an IEE. The adjustment that we're proposing to the board will give us the option to determine if the district is in a position to feel like we should pay for the IEE or evaluate whether we want to revisit that topic with the family and see if we can sit down, have an IEP meeting, and reach a different or improved outcome through that pathway before we would be extending funds for an IEE or moving to a due process hearing. So it just gives us some extra space and still honors the law. So the way it is now, we're kind of constricting in a way that isn't necessary, and this loosens that up, honors the law, and gives us options and opportunity as an administration to work with families.
Thank you, Dr. Ryman. Are there thoughts or questions based on those changes? Ms. Lamb.
There's a line that says without unnecessary delay. And since it doesn't specify a fixed timeline, I'm just curious if it opens up a dialogue to interpretation on what is necessary or unnecessary delay and challenge if the action is delayed. And I'm just curious if that's just common language, then I understand.
It is, and you've cued on exactly what the adjustment that we'd be making to the policy would allow us. So generally speaking, they, without unreasonable delay is kind of seen as a 10-day time period, which is why the language was the way it was. This adjustment allows us to be respectful to parents, but also gives us the time to evaluate a situation before we're spending money or booking a due process hearing to check our checks before that 10-day period extends, and we have to do one of those two things. So that's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. McKenna.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ryman. Thank you, Mr. Grenter. I'd like to propose an additional edit to the policy beyond the proposals here. At the top of page 4, there's a reference to various conditions that a student may have that would require evaluation by a certified psychologist. And one of those that's listed is mental retardation. It's my understanding in educational and medical and civil rights circles that that language is no longer considered appropriate or respectful. So I would ask that we change that to intellectual disabilities.
ID is generally what's there, and I'm happy to review that with solicitor, and I appreciate the comment and suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. Any other thoughts or questions? Okay, thank you for those, and we'll look to see those changes made at our reading next month. And we are now on to item E, our recommendation to approve the second reading and final approval of the following policies. Policy 103, discrimination, harassment affecting students. Policy 204, attendance. Policy 218.1, weapons. Policy 247, hazing. And Policy 903, public comment and board meetings. Dr. Ryman.
Thank you, Mr. Grenter. So last month I walked the board through the highlights of the changes that are suggested for these particular policies. At this point in the evening, I'm happy to address or hear any questions or concerns that the board might have as we're looking at the second read for these particular policies.
Does anyone have thoughts or questions? We've talked about these last month, and for some of them even longer than that. No? Okay. Dr. Ryman, thank you. We are now on to item F in our agenda, recommendation to approve the presented out-of-state or overnight field trips.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gunner. Tonight I bring 5 field trips to the board that require your approval per policy 121, given that they are out of state and or overnight. These are high school trips, and I have verified with Mr. Alat that there's a plan in place for funding chaperones, supervision, and transportation. And I'd like to recommend that the board give approval for these 5 trips to continue to be planned and ultimately taken in April and May of this year.
Thank you, Dr. Ryman. Any thoughts or questions from the board? Mr. McKenna.
I just had a question about one of the acronyms on here. Can you just explain what TSA is?
I can, yeah. Technology Student, Mr. Alat, Association. Thank you. So our MT Tech team, which is our technology and engineering program, they attend conferences and there are competitions that take place there as well. They've had a nice showing there too in the past. The board will probably hear something positive after that trip.
I look forward to seeing that. Any other thoughts? Ms. Lamb?
So 4 of them under the overnight procedures approved, it says in process. Does that mean they're still figuring out the details of the overnight procedures?
It does. So when we presented to the board roughly a year ago, the adjusted protocols that we're working our way through for any overnight trip, it's an extensive set of procedures that we're following. All of those couldn't be managed by the time the board is hearing about these trips and voting on them. So what we're committed to is following those same exact procedures for pre-trip protocols, room assignments. There's a trip meeting that takes place with parents and everyone that's participating in that trip. All those things will happen. They're scheduled to happen, but in reality, they will not be finished by the time the board is approving the trip. But that's to communicate to all of you that we will adhere to all those protocols.
Thank you, Dr. Ryman.
Mr. Grinter.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Hentz.
I have a question about the first field trip. There are 30 students participating with only 3 chaperones, and 4 students to a room. That seems light.
So what
number of chaperones.
Thanks, Mrs. Hentz. What we have adhered to has been a 1 to 10 ratio, and that is in line with that.
This seems like a lot of kids for 3 people to keep track of.
keep in mind also it's a conference setting, so it's not just our kids and our chaperones that are there. This is attended by other students and districts as well who are also there with their chaperones. And the chaperones that we have going with those 30 kids, we're comfortable that they will be able to meet those supervision needs. And numbers do change between proposal time now and trip time. So if that number is going to go in any direction, Mrs. Hens, it would be down, not up. If it were to go up,
Okay, thank you.
Sure. If it goes up, we'll make sure that we meet that 1 to 10 ratio.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mrs. Hens. Ms. Lamb, I think you had another question.
Yeah, just a fun question. Is the public allowed to attend the TSA state conference? I know it's like robotics and STEM projects.
Not that I'm aware of. Do you want to join our MT Tech team? Is that what you're asking? Let me check in with Mr. Alott and Mr. Nolt, and I'll see what's possible and notify the board.
This newly designed board area allows for battle bots or something right here, I think, pretty well. Dr. McCardle.
Thank you, Mr. Gunter. I was going to ask the same question that Ms. Lamb asked, her first question. Is it possible for the board to get an update before these trips occur? Just confirmation that everything is in order, given the, I'm not sure the way, but just because it's an overnight field trip to make sure, I mean, I know you said everything, you're committed to following all the processes, but is it possible for us to have an update just so we can have a record of that?
If the board would like us to do that, and for each trip, and we can certainly consider that.
Yeah, I think that's something we can think about. I think we're thinking about all those procedures constantly and the best way to make sure that we're adhering to both the letter and the spirit of all of our policies as it relates to prioritizing student safety and allowing students to continue to access all the opportunities that are available through the school district. So why don't we think about that in terms of what that procedure looks like or what that check back looks like, and develop that together. But I don't think that's it could be as simple as an email confirmation, right? Okay. So I think that shouldn't be something that hopefully is too prohibitive, but happy to work with you, Dr. Raymond, on what that looks like.
That sounds good.
Ms. Woodbury.
I just had a question. I know we were talking about the spirit of kind of these things, and we've been thinking and working together over time on these things. And I'm curious about just if you can share more about how the decision making looks for the number of students per room. Because I know we had talked about fewer seem safer, but I know there's lots of balancing factors.
It's a good question, and sometimes some of that is driven by the venue that's hosting the trip. I know you might see one on there that looks like a larger than usual number. That is a cabin setting. Those are gender specific, so if that one presents as alarming to the board, just know that that's at a location where there'll be multiple kids in a larger cabin space.
And quad rooms in the first one.
That to me, to my knowledge, and Mr. Alott, if you know differently, you're welcome to take the mic. But I think that they're gender specific, supervised in that setting, and all the standard sort of trappings that would come along with supervision in that setting, be it taped doors or monitoring of those kids through the night would be in place as a standard.
All right.
So that one specific one is a cabin. Okay, so there would be 5 of our students, along with other students from another school. There is also a chaperone in that room who is gender aligned.
Yep, that was the 5-person cabin, and the 4-person is also the cabin.
So the 4-person in the first trip.
Yep.
So that is actually hotel rooms at the conference. So right now it is at a capacity of 4. We are anticipating that to be lesser attendees. So we're looking at probably closer to 10, but registration's still open and students can still attend. At the most, we have 30 students who are interested in that trip.
Okay. I'm just asking, maybe we can give some consideration to double rooms versus quad rooms and what those factors are. So no hard and fast thing, but just a consideration of double versus quad rooms when we're talking about a hotel setting. Thank you.
Yep.
So I guess, to that effect, Mr. Alott, maybe you might need to come back with. So for that specific trip, the funds requested are relatively low, right, as opposed to the total cost. So is it a funding issue that's preventing additional rooms, or is it a capacity issue in the hotel?
Yeah, so
Can you unpack that?
So for each of these trips, it becomes a capacity issue, because it's a conference, many other schools are attending. So that is one thing as far as how many rooms are available. And then at that point in time, our advisors do try to get the fewest amount of students in one room at a time. And so, and sometimes it's bringing in a cot, sometimes it's doing things like that. For that specific trip, speaking with that advisor just yesterday, she is thinking that number is going to be closer to 10, okay, and with two students per room.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. I think some of that additional context may be important for us before we vote next week. And if there are obstacles, I think as always, if there are obstacles to trying to achieve those optimal ratios, the board wants to be a partner to administration in trying to solve that. So certainly would welcome that communication and partnership from you, Dr. Ryman, and thank you, Mr. Rilla.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rivera.
I was going to say, having chaperoned quite a number of overnight trips as well, sometimes there's a cost-benefit ratio. If you have less rooms, there's less rooms you have to check. And oftentimes, if there's more rooms, they're spread out over a bigger area. So from a chaperoning perspective, sometimes less is better. But again, 4 in a room sometimes is tight as well.
Yep, appreciate that. And I think that's just the spirit of, again, that gets to the spirit of the policy too. And certainly we're looking to, the recommendations of the administration and looking to partner with you on making sure that with these trips are a success. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, nope, not yet. Mr. McKenna.
This question's probably for Dr. Ryman, but I think compared to some previous trips we've approved, it seems like this group has a larger variance between the total cost and the funds requested. Can you just speak broadly what those alternative sources of funding would be to bring these trips to fruition?
Sure. So there are times when we might ask, depending on the nature of the trip, that student and family pay a certain percentage. If there's a booster club attached, sometimes they will help with funds. Transportation funds a lot of times come out of the high school budget, and there are mixtures of those scenarios that I just shared that exist for different trips. As we're having this conversation, I can share with the board that prior to this arrangement with this form, we used to have a lot more detail about the sources of those funds. If the board would like, we can return to that format because it'll be specific about booster funds, self-pay funds, district transportation funds. We can return to that. And then those questions are answered at your first look within the board folder to see the trip listing. So I'm happy to return to that if that would help.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ryman. I think that's something we can continue to make sure that this board is getting the information we're interested in and certainly not trying to make it too burdensome on the administration. So happy to problem solve that with you.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions? Mrs. Hens, we good? Yes. Okay. Then we are.
Yes, we're good, thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Hens. And then that brings us to close of our action, or item 3, our action for voting meeting for next
Mr.
week.
Gretchen, I have
Miss Woodbury.
I have one question, but I don't know how to parliamentarily ask it. I noticed something that I think is a clerical error in policy 903, and I know that's the previous agenda item. So may I bring it up now?
Please.
Sorry. In the policy 903, at the bottom of page 2, the discussion that I recollect, and since we are striking the unless all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard, I think my recollection is that we were going to strike the entire line because the rest of the policy explains it all. Individuals shall wait to be recognized. Each statement shall be limited to 5 minutes. And then strike the whole line instead of half the line. No individual may speak more than once on the same topic unless all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard, instead of half the line.
Can you take a quick look at that? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought that we had done, and it just doesn't match what we're what's attached.
So I think, yeah, what Dr. Ryman is showing is I think the policy as we had seen it and intended it, and I think that's different than what's uploaded for our materials.
Is that possible, Mrs.? Okay.
We've talked about it several times, so that's absolutely possible. So
Yes, that is what we said,
Yeah.
all right,
Good
thank
catch.
you.
that we were going to
Thank you.
skip that whole line.
I think that's just a clerical
Yep.
accident, which is certainly understandable.
So the way this one you just looked at is that's the way we want it. I'll work with Mrs. Marshall. We'll get that one uploaded.
Yep, that's
Thanks for pointing it out.
And so for purposes of just making sure everyone is understanding that we're all on the same page, what we intend for this policy, I'm not going to read the policy verbatim, but what this policy will have is that for a work agenda meeting like this, at the end of the session, when we're done, as we're about to go into item 4, which is our public comment, each individual will have the chance to comment for 5 minutes. That's what we are changing is the ability for someone to come up a second time and speak for another 5 minutes. We've spoken for several months for our reasonings for that, so I'm not going to get into all that now. Those conversations are all available on our meetings on our YouTube page. What the change for voting meetings will be is that we will continue to have a public comment period before we vote, so that folks who want to provide comment on anything that we're about to vote on, they can do so before we take action. And then also a second public comment period at the end of the meeting, akin to the one at the end of our work session meeting. And so again, the change there will be people will not have the chance to come up a second time for another 5 minutes. Other than that is the spirit of the change. That is the language of the change, and we will vote on that language next week. Okay, thank you, Ms. Woodbury, for noticing that. And now putting that into action, we are on to item 4, Manheim Township community comments. Community and district employee comments are now section residents, taxpayers, and district employees, and students are welcome and encouraged to participate. To speak, please submit a commenter's card to the board secretary as you approach the microphone. In accordance with policy 903, please state your name and limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Speak once per topic unless others have finished, after which an additional 5 minutes may be granted. The board will not engage in discussion at this time, and follow-up will be provided as needed. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment this evening?
Good evening. My name is Mark Diener, class of 1989. I live in Bloomingdale Development. And yet another inappropriate book in our middle school library. The book is called Shiver by author Maggie Stiefvater. This author writes, quote, "I am Maggie Stiefvater. I write books. Some are about homicidal fairies, some are about werewolf nookie, some are about neither." Nookie, you might ask, what does that mean? That's an informal, often vulgar slang term for sexual intercourse. This book by Maggie Stiefvater focuses heavily on the romantic relationship between 17-year-old Grace and 18-year-old werewolf Sam. There was another book weeded from our middle school library a few months ago called The Art of Racing in the Rain. It was about a dog watching humans have sex. So I want to thank the administration for promptly weeding that book. There was a weeding criteria that says a change in intended audience. And I would certainly hope tonight that the book I'm going to read from, called Shiver, I'm going to hope that that intended audience is no longer going to be 7th graders. I did an AI search and I asked the question, is the book Shiver spicy? Yes. Grace and Sam have sex towards the end of the book. It occurs following several instances of them sharing a bed multiple times and engaging in intimate, passionate caressing beforehand. This progression, also known as foreplay, is that they share a bed multiple times, and Sam, while in his werewolf form, is noted to have seen Grace naked through her window, building anticipation. I read through some of the quotes by some of the parent reviews. One parent says, quote, "My only problem with the story, like many young adult books, is the moral choices made by the main characters that I would rather associate with adult books and hate to see them marketed to teens." I thought that was a pretty good concern of a parent. Teacher Lady 10 writes, quote, "Watch out, parents. As a high school teacher, I was shocked, disappointed, and actually horrified at the glamorization and romanticization of inappropriate sexual behavior between these teenagers. What are you reviewers thinking about using the word tastefully? There is no such thing as tasteful sex between teenagers. Have we all lost our minds these days? Unquote. Page 292. All of me wanted to kiss her hard enough to make me disappear. I braced my arms on either side of her head, the door giving out a creak as I leaned against it, and I pressed my mouth against hers. She kissed me back, lips hot, tongue flicking against my teeth, hands still behind her, body still pressed against the door. Everything in me buzzed, electric, wanting to close the few inches of space between us. She kissed me harder, breath huffing into my mouth, and bit my lower lip. Oh, hell, that was amazing. I growled before I could stop myself, but before I could even think to feel embarrassed, Grace had pulled her hands out from behind her and looped them around my neck, pulling me to her. That was so sexy, she said, voice uneven. I didn't think you could get any sexier. I kissed her again before she could say anything else, backing into the room with her, a tangle of arms in the moonlight. Her fingers hooked into the back of my jeans, thumbs brushing my hip bones, pulling me even closer to her. Oh, God, Grace, I gasped. You greatly overestimate my self-control. I'm not looking for self-control. My hands were inside her shirt, palms pressed on her back, fingers spread on her sides. I didn't even remember how they got there. I don't want to do anything you'll regret. Grace's back curved against my fingers as if my touch brought her to life. Then don't stop. I'd imagined her saying this in so many different ways, but none of my fantasies had come close to this breathless reality. Clumsily, we backed onto her bed, part of me thinking we should be quiet in case her parents came home. But she helped me tug my shirt over my head, and I ran my hand down her chest, and I groaned, forgetting everything but her fingers on my skin. My mind searched for lyrics, words to string together to describe the moment, but nothing came. I couldn't think of anything but her palm grazing my skin. You smell so good, Grace whispered. Every time I touch you, it comes off you even stronger. Her nostrils flared, all wolf, smelling how much I wanted her. Remember now in the book, there's a sex scene between a werewolf and a girl. I don't think seventh graders need to read about that. Knowing what I was and wanting me anyway, she let me push her gently down onto the pillows, and I braced my arms on either side of her, straddling her in my jeans. Are you sure? I asked. Her eyes were bright, excited. She nodded. I slid down to kiss her belly. It felt so right, so natural, like I'd done it 1,000 times before and would do it 1,000 times again. Grace pulled the blankets up over us, and we kicked off our clothes beneath them as we pressed our bodies against each other. I shrugged off my skin with a growl, giving in, neither man nor wolf, just Sam. And so they go on and finish the scene. As you can all tell, what's going to happen next.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Would anyone else like to give public comment? Anyone else? Are you wanting to go again?
Sure. Well, it can be done still. So, the book that I read from, they want you to think it's just about this. Amazon review, misleading book reviews. What they want you to think this book is about. For years, Grace has watched the wolves in the woods behind her house. One yellow-eyed wolf, her wolf, is a chilling presence she can't seem to live without. Meanwhile, Sam has lived two lives. In winter, the frozen woods, the protection of the pack, and the silent company of a fearless girl. In summer, a few precious months of being human, until the cold makes him shift back again. Now Grace meets a yellow-eyed boy whose familiarity takes her breath away. It's her wolf. It has to be. But as winter nears, Sam must fight to stay human or risk losing himself and Grace forever. What actually the book just turns into a one long foreplay scene with sex at the end. So a couple months ago, I read from the book Art of Racing in the Rain. Very unusual book. There was a few books I read from that had these unusual scenes that just somehow slipped in. All of a sudden, we're reading foreplay, orgasm, and sex scenes in books that weren't supposed to be about that. You could read the misleading reviews. But so I read to you Megan's story about a seventh grader who read some literature like this, if you want to call it literature, inappropriate sexual material. She read from it in her public school library, and it took her down a very dark path. And she actually rebounded, got better, and this is her mom's account of what her daughter went through. It started reading inappropriate sexual material in the seventh grade library. Her mom, it's called Megan's Story, A Mother's Battle, Part 2, Lost in the Pages. I'm the mom of that warrior right there. She does good. Listen to her. She's the next generation of good, her daughter Megan says. My mom definitely helped a lot. I probably would have not been as safe as I was. Shout out to all the mamas in the room to keep their daughters safe. Mom, well, basically, as far as keeping that kid safe, first of all, she's a teenager, so that's like near impossible. It's really hard when you are trusting these valuable adults at the school to craft your child's mind, and you come to find out that they are teaching them how to explore more avenues toward the sexual content. And then her daughter Megan says, because this is so descriptive, the books and stories and writing is so descriptive and explicit, not appropriate. My mother obviously caught me. Her mom responds, but I could never keep up. She's going through 1,000 pages a day. The content, I could never download that into me enough to filter it to help her. So I rely on those librarians sharing with my kids books that they find valuable. They're like, oh my gosh, she's an avid reader. Let's give her 1,500 pages of content. And then she's overwhelmed, but happily because she loves to read. The librarian is my godsend or the demon in our home. And I need to know and trust that that person is willing to take that tender mind and filter. Yes, I'll do my part at home because I'm the one who spends day in and day out in understanding how that child is. So I need to have those guys be advocates for us. But you go take that tender soul and you give them materials that will literally wreck them. I've seen it destroy her friends. I've seen it affect our family's life. We fought for years trying to get her to be honest because she was hiding that content. Because an adult who's trusted to her said, yes, you can read this. And then I'm over here saying, I'm sorry, sweetheart, your brain's not ready for this. I can see what it will do to you. And then where are we at? And you tell me that you did a great job as a librarian. You know, you tell me that she wasn't affected by the materials that were given to her in a trusted situation. The mom starts crying. And her daughter Megan says, when I was in that headspace and I was reading those books, I choose not to listen to what she said. So more of it was my own fault. Mom, time after time I took the book away, read through it and said, sweetheart, see, you can see right here, this will change your perspective of healthy relationships. So the understanding is, or the argument is, that an adult says that if the child comes across this information in a book, it might be able to help them if they're going through that current circumstance. The main objective is you want to help a child or somebody who's gone through abuse. You give them the resources for advocacy and you give them a therapist and a counselor. You don't give them a librarian who says, hey, this is a great romance novel. Oh, you know what? At page 210, it gets a little spicy. Never. Sexual content is sexual content. Whether it's rape, whether it's whatever the thing is, you can't play a therapist. You cannot play a therapist, whose hands you're giving that to. You're asking a librarian to fine-tune this and understand each one of the people that they send that book off with. That's baloney. Then the librarian needs to have a therapy license. They need to be a psychologist. They need to be all these things. They're trained for the information in the book. They're not trained for the client they're giving it to. I went through sexual abuse from a family member. That same family member gave me pornography. Okay, that pornography depicted the same sexual act that person was doing towards me. You know what that did? It made it normal. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to finish. Thank you for your time tonight.
Okay, that brings us to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. McKenna, is there a second? Ms. Lamb. Before we move forward, I just want to take a moment to thank all of our staff, teachers, and particularly our librarians who use their judgment and process as trained professionals to provide a wide access of reading materials for students across our district. Their professionalism dedication is noticed and appreciated. As a reminder, school board meetings can also be viewed online during this meeting or afterwards by going to our district website. Our next meeting is Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in the district office. As always, comments or questions for the board may be emailed to boardsecretary@mtwp.net. Before I close, Ms. Zimmerman, you had one more announcement I missed in the meeting.
One more announcement. We've been able to recognize student athletes, student artists, and one more plug for student performers. This weekend is Charlotte's Web at Manheim Township Middle School. So please purchase your tickets and support these students who have worked so hard.
I do not believe it's sold out yet.
I do
right?
not believe it's sold out yet.
They usually do, so get your tickets. And again, thank you to all our Manheim Township staff, administrators, and volunteers for your dedication to our students and community. We are going to adjourn. We will gavel back in at 7:30. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Thank you all. We are adjourned.
I disagree with it. That's tied up into this. Oh no! That's Russ, if that's okay with him. We're not You're free to do whatever you want. You don't get filed tonight. That means I get
They have like 6
Oh, wait. So, I'm about to go see her, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to her house right now. I'm really great to see her here. I can have it because sorry, I had to like find her name in my head. She has 2 kids here. They switched over right around the same time. Oh yeah. This is
I still don't quite understand what your story is. Sounds like maybe you don't. All right, how you doing? We didn't get those last two slides, by the way. We didn't get those last two slides. But then, you know, I can send them to you if you want. That would be stepping in the big sports department.
I'll tell Laura, our sports editor. I'll yell at her.
Yeah, you know.
But actually, the sports department's where we lost 2 people in January. So your press wasn't so I graduated.
Is that right? That's right. I'm president.
Because my parents still live back and I lived there for 18 years. So it's not a student minute, 30 minutes?
Well, yeah,
Depending on my cornwall, it's like
Lebanon, okay.
You gotta say it wrong to be right.
I guess so.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Reminds me of for a short while I lived close to Michigan, same thing. But yeah, last night I was supposed to be at the theater. I'm sorry, the Allen Theater.
I like the Allen Theater.
Well, so I did a feature on town.
You know, they had Allen Theater, they showed the E-Town documentary there. We heard the documentary about the school board elections, just like get women and yeah, there's a French documentary on the Elizabeth election. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, a French person. They actually asked me to be in it. I can't because I'm Maryland. I did ask. I was like, that'd be cool to be in a documentary. My editor's like, no, you can't. Yeah, it came out like last year, and then you know, not Common Sense, the group they have in each one, they showed it, and then they showed it, and like, it's very interesting. They showed it in the amphitheater too, because E-Town is pretty close to London. One of my favorite was E-Town.
The bike trails.
I've gone from Lebanon to E-Town on that trail. And it's crazy.
So, what's the
it talks a lot of like Christian like they got a lot of really good access into like candidates' lives. Sides, they like follow them, they went to like meetings with them. It's really interesting. They go into some of the classrooms, but it's like a big kind of like discussion on like political polarization and controversy in school districts, especially at that time, like coming out of the pandemic. It was really bad. Republicans like never going to be it's been like
I mean, in terms of
I mean, most like politics are like the only ones that have done you know, like but every other one of those all 9 Republicans. 17 if you count Montana, which straddles Chester County. It's they might actually have something. I forget about theirs. I don't think so, but like I forget. I think not. I don't know it well enough to say. Oh yeah, I need to like keep track of that. I get so many things. Oh yeah, let me know when it's going to be on the agenda. I appreciate you guys because I have literally tried to like keep a schedule every single day. I look at all of the every day, and I can never keep up with it. I'm so
hey, look, I'm having trouble schedule with 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Are you technically like you consider yourself retired? You're just doing this stuff part time, or are you still like trying to fill up your full schedule?
I should be retired. I wanted to get more of these just to I wiped out. I can't even I couldn't tell you after I left
My 401k switch like every single year of my life because of all the switches with LNP. And I don't even want to look at it. I don't even know who has it at this point. I don't know where it is. I should.
Hey, when I worked,
no clue.
I worked for 12 years ago. So anyway, yeah, well, it's kind of this way.
My dad actually tried. My mom to get a part-time. Aren't you glad that you didn't make that a part-time? That's what I think. This is big.
I'm hoping
Oh, did you?
that happens, of course. Well, only if I start making money. Love town.
No, just Emily Vick switched to work there.
Maybe.
Oh, she worked there for a minute. I was her editor.
I've seen the name, but I haven't seen her face.
I would just wish she was like, she was making the series so like zoned in on the grammar. So zoned in that she like lose the story. Sometimes when I
can see how that.
Yeah. She like would make instant copies of the fortune happening. Anyways.
Yeah, I understand. The for too long. Copy it. I say that again. But,
yeah, I know. Actually, one of my friends gives you respect from. She doesn't like it. She's really happy because she would be a digital psychologist. Because when we started making that cut, she was like, they're going to cut down our print. I'm just waiting for it.
well, I was surprised that they were still doing 7 days in Detroit. I never worked for car magazines, but Detroit was free press. It went down to 3 days. It went down to 3 days delivery. Still kept the print up from used to. 10 or 15 years ago.
We were really trying to so our print is like decimated. It's like going down. But ours stayed steady while a lot of places tanked, which is why we're still where we're at. Like they just, I think they might have given us a few more weeks, maybe a couple more months. I don't know what their plan is, but Savannah printing back to they're he wasn't here tonight. That'll be cheap for you too.
Well, I gotta tell you, since I've lived here, especially after I started streaming for you, I've gone back and forth between prison 7 days a week, and now I just have Sundays.
I only do what they. I only do the digital because they give us.
Well, they supposed to give that.
I'm sorry.
It's so stupid. Circulation.
Sorry, hello. Oh, thanks. I think I included a quote from your from the meeting. Oh yeah, but it's good. Oh, thanks. Yeah, a lot of interviewing going around with people. No, I called him one day and he said he was working, and then he said that he would talk to me at 5, and I called him twice at 5, and I didn't get to him. He must be busy, that's okay. It was more of a negotiating thing until I just needed at least one person to say, like, what happened then, or give some kind of insight, because I know that's the question. Yeah, but thank you for checking in. Thank you for your help with that. I just finally, my phone was, for some reason, I have my personal phone hooked up to my really old Mac computer, and it looped in my work number, and so I would get messages there and not to my personal number, and I don't touch that laptop because I'm working on my work laptop. And I saw them, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I missed it. Oh, I didn't see it. And then I saw it on my personal computer. So, all the text messages that I'm getting. The interview? Oh, good luck. I am leaving because we were just kind of looking to see if anything happened, which I didn't think so.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi,
Hey,
Kevin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for your help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was just telling these individuals we're going to have the candidates sit in the first 2 rows. I did a random generator, so they're going to call you up based on the list. There's one question. You get 3 minutes to answer. It's the same question. So if you're not first, which you're not going to be, because we have someone that's going to be calling in, because he's out of town.
Yeah, make the phoner in go first. Right?
Yeah, phoner in's going first. So yeah.
All right, great.
So if you want to just have a seat in one of the first 2 rows, they will be back at 7:30 and we'll get going. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. Like, it feels like there's 3 types of mini meetings. Yeah, on a monthly basis, but nice to meet you, Warren.
Yeah, December was cool.
So you're going to take next week.
Well, we know about, I know about skin. So what is the last name? Yes.
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
Our pastor was drunk. So their kids are probably Jackson Beach, but it wasn't. But he's good. Want to see it?
So what's that?
Might have seen you there.
Yeah, just
Well, I think you'll figure it out. Looking forward to it.
They said,
Well, I don't know if actors make
they have a ton of stories. Like, it's kind of like they, if they yeah, literally, yeah, from the basketball team.
Oh, that's like,
yeah, what's that?
Yeah, because we did when my kids were so we were there for
I think our sense is lots of
so I was so
I'm hoping that this, I gotta take a picture of myself.
our neighbors were like,
Oh yeah, good talk.
It's going well. I mean, like I was just telling you, kind of been inside. Yeah, there's like this section of the sun. Yeah, I'd like to be introverted. We get there like mostly. So are you doing this class? So is that? Are you still like? Is this kind of now like? It's hard to do. That's what that's kind of what I think. I thought because I got to like baseball this summer in Cali, so I didn't expect it to be so hard. Yeah, I really, it's a cool place. But Tommy was telling me in class, Tommy and I don't talk about, talk about everything. You say that you're the that's really cool. That's really impressive.
so have you like, it's like,
yeah, I had to go for like an interview.
yeah, right. No, that's interesting.
I thought, they were fun. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to like this summer. Because it's kind of based, it's all based on like how I get seen and stuff like that. So I don't really know what's going to but definitely like I said, I'm sure where's that?
Okay, good evening, and I'd like to officially call this special meeting of the Manhattan Township School Board to order. Welcome to everyone here in person and those joining us online. I apologize that we are a couple minutes late in getting started. Our district's mission, Nurture and Challenge for Success, is a reminder of our intent to enable every student to learn, grow, and thrive. Now, we have a few announcements before we get started. I'll start by saying the board just met in an executive session for the purpose of discussing confidential personnel matters. And a next announcement is members of our community are encouraged to participate in board meetings in person and to view them online. In support of both transparency and community engagement, recordings of meetings can now be watched afterwards on the district's YouTube channel. Now, before I'd like to begin, I'd like to remark a few more announcements and just clarify how the evening's going to go. I'm going to start by thanking all of you who are here tonight for applying. And thank you all also to the members of our community who reached out with questions or interests or expressions of support in the role. School board service is a critical part of supporting our students, staff, and schools, and it is an honor to serve in this role. We all here don't always agree, but we all treat each other with respect and openness. I will stress how critical it is for whoever joins us to uphold that culture and practice in our months and years ahead together. And I appreciate the seriousness with which the candidates have approached this process. This board has reviewed candidate resumes and letters of interest. Additionally, candidates answered 3 questions in writing that we requested in advance of tonight. Those 3 questions were: how would you describe the roles and responsibilities of an effective school board? We asked them to identify the top 2 to 3 priorities for this school board in the next 18 months. And we asked them to describe their experience in navigating complex decisions in a collaborative environment. with specific examples. We also have reviewed and considered those responses. For this evening, Mrs. Marshall, our board secretary, generated a randomized order of names, except for Mr. Luce, who is on the phone because he is unable to attend in person this evening. Mr. Luce will go first. After he goes, I will call each candidate up to the microphone, and you'll be asked to respond to a prompt. You will have 3 minutes to respond. Now, if you're wrapping up your thought in your 3 minutes, 3:01, 3:02, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'd like you to finish your thought. If you start a new paragraph, if you get a new point, a new idea, I'm going to have to ask you to stop. It's Oscars week. I don't think we have the right music. We're not going to play you off, but I'll ask you to try to maintain within the 3 minutes that we have so that everyone has a fair chance. Also, per request, Mr. Lyons and Mrs. Marshall, please do speak into the microphone. We have many people at home watching right now. We have many people who will be watching in the days to come. So please speak clearly into that microphone. Now, those are all our announcements. From our board members, any questions on process? This is consistent with what we've discussed? Okay. So we are on to item 2 in our agenda because we are voting. Because we're not voting, but because we need to get a motion to approve, or modify the agenda. So can I get a motion to approve?
I'd like to move that we approve the agenda as written.
Ms. Woodbury, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McKenna, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. Okay, now we are on to our school board candidate interviews. So the question, Mr. Luce, are you there? We start with that.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. The question that we're going to ask you to answer is, can you describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences?
Certainly. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to do this remotely. My wife and I are currently in Orlando, and so I really appreciate this chance. There's 2 main reasons why I want to be on the board, and the second reason is why I feel like I'd be an important member of the board. The first reason is my wife and I are both graduates of Manheim Township. We're the parents of 4 Manheim Township graduates who happen to also have gone into the educational field. They're all employed in Lancaster County as teachers. My family has benefited greatly by the excellence of Manheim Township School District. We've been known to be at the top in our county for a long time, and I'd like to see that continue for many reasons. And not the least of which is the benefit it will bring to other families to go to a school that has the prestige of Manheim Township. The second reason being is that I think the breadth and depth of the knowledge and experience I have based on my life experiences will be beneficial. Will be beneficial to the district. As an educator at both in the city and at Manheim Township, longtime educator, and then after I retired, actually, the school district or the CTC called me up and asked me to join them. So I had 3 years as principal at CTCs, all 3 of them, Brownstown, Mount Joy, and Willow Street. And that's one of my particular things that I really think is important, is that while Manheim Township has been known about its great education and sending kids off to college, I'd like to see more and more kids get involved with the CTC. We're so blessed in Lancaster to have that. And I would work to help see that happen. So again, I was athletic director for a while at the same time as being an AP. So I've seen just about everything in Manheim Township in the last 60 years. And my goal would be then to bring that knowledge and background into play and contribute to the board and collaborate with them on things moving forward. The other big reason is I know we have issues with not overcrowding, but with buildings. And I was the liaison to the high school administration for the building of the high school project. So I've worked closely on building projects and seen what needs to happen. So again, I'd like to bring that knowledge to bear here, and again, really appreciate this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luce. I appreciate you joining us from Florida. Hopefully it's warmer there.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, but there you go. Proof of concept. Okay.
Hey, it was 94 at the Phillies game in Clearwater the other day.
You're doing it right. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Luce.
Yep.
And thank you, Mr. Lyons, for making that happen. Next up, Miss Greta Strickler. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
And so, again, the prompt is, can you please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences?
Hi, everyone. My name is Greta. I am a resident of Manheim Township, obviously, and I have 2 kids. They are 5 and 2. So I am just about to enter my time as a parent and a larger participant in the school district. Going forward, I think that my position as a parent with really young children poises me to have a very long-standing and current investment in the school board and the school district and how things move forward. And I think that that would give me an advantage of having a pulse on what a lot of the other younger parents and younger families are experiencing as they move forward with the school district. I grew up, my mom just retired from teaching. We're not local, but originally, but she just retired, and I was with her most of the time, just her and I. So I've set up a lot of classrooms. I've read through a lot of curriculum, played with the laminators, hung out at all of the union meetings. And it was a very impactful experience to be that involved and that invested in the school that I was attending. And also just with the families that were around us. And that is something that I would like to continue here and for my own kids. So yes, my investment is sourced from my kids, but I would hope that I could push that forward to all the other families that I would get to encounter in this position. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, Mr. Todd Heckman. And again, the prompt is, just please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experience.
Great, thank you. I appreciate the time. Just very briefly, so I served on the school board for 6 years, two terms elected. I think I can hit the ground running. I've been involved with some of the things that you're going to be involved with very soon. I've been through 2 school superintendent searches. I've also had a good bit of experience with the athletic facilities and construction of the new school. So I've been there. I've been in your seat. I think I can hit the ground running on day one, and I think that experience can be very helpful. I don't have any political agendas to bring to the table. I'm not interested in promoting extreme policies from either side of the aisle. I'm just my goal would be to help this board make decisions going forward as quickly as possible. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Miss Soraya Hintz. Soraya Hintz. Jeez, I don't know. Why did I say that? Excuse me.
Can I put the timer on my phone?
Sure. And again, let's describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences.
So I am a parent in the district, and I am currently a substitute teacher as well. I am a volunteer. I think that this is a very strong team that we have here, but I not only fill gaps in representation for our district makeup, but also my life experience, both personally and professionally, is something that no one else can offer and would only serve to strengthen the positive impact that we could have here together.
I bring a level of dedication where I am in this now, presently. I've attended all of the work and voting sessions this year, as well as the facilities meetings. I'm in this from classrooms to buildings to district events, committees, board meetings, on the Instagram page. I follow all of the Instagram pages for the district, Facebook pages as well, in conversation and in action, in going around in the district and interacting with all of the staff that I do. I'm in conversation with them. I've asked them, what do you want from your school board? What would you like to see in your administration? What would you want more from your families? I talk to the students in the same way. What's working for you and what isn't? In fact, when this school board vacancy came to be known, I had librarians, administrators, parents, and students approach me and say, I hope you run. I would love to see you on the board. So there's all of those people that want me to be here. I want to be here. I think I could help make this district really be a place that serves all of our students. Everyone in Manheim Township would have a place. I'm obviously doing it because I have 5 kids in this district, and I'd love for them to have just the best version of education that they could. But also, there's all the students that I've interacted with in my time here: Z, Hadi, Zoe, Nathan, Margot, Levi, Madison, Nathan, Olivia, Marissa, all the Natalies, the Mollys, and the Maggies that we know. Farishta, Laikat, Bryson, Colin, Celia, Noah, Daniel, Wyatt, Nick, Shardy Hopper Hobbs, Lily, Rachel, Ella, Graham, all of them. And there's the teachers like Mr. Clark, Mrs. Kramer, Mr. Aiello, Miss Reifsnyder, Mr. Stump, Miss Donardi, Miss Mendelson, Miss Swank, Miss Topping, Miss Knoll, Senor Spadaro, Miss Haldeman, Mr. Siegel, and on, who do such a good job here and would love to have communication with the board in order to continue their good work. The various administrators that I've met with in meetings, some that were good and some were that a little less than good, but we've managed to have a cohesive and coordinated relationship with each other. I'm here and I want to do it. And I think that I've shown that I would be willing to be another strong member of this team.
Thank you, Ms. Hintz. Okay, next up is Mr. Kevin Kowaleski. Welcome, and again, the prompt is, let me read it exactly. Describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. Thanks for the thoughtful process as well. It was clarifying to go through all the questions and the interview process. And we have a lot of great candidates here, obviously, today. Share some things in common with them. I also have 2 kids that are in the schools. I have a first grader at Brecht, and I have a soon-to-be kindergartner at Brecht. And I'm a somewhat new transplant back to Manheim Township. I grew up in Lancaster County. And when we moved back here in 2020, I wanted to, specifically my wife and I wanted to move back to the Manheim Township area because of how good the schools are. I'm going to take this in 2 parts. I'll first just talk a little bit about my experience. That makes me, I think, optimal is a very high bar to reach optimal candidate. But from my experience, I've been at Arizona State University for 12 years. I do live locally. I work remotely for Arizona State University. And during that time, I've been a leader at the university that has seen tremendous organizational transformation, from leadership transitions to really going from a small regional university to a massive national presence. So I understand the collaboration that is involved with creating a strong culture, a strong vision, the work that you have to do with community, with students themselves, with parents of students, and with colleagues from many different departments with many different perspectives. So I feel very comfortable and confident in that environment. I think from a skill perspective, I'm a very collaborative person. I'm a data-informed problem solver, very measured. I'm endlessly optimistic. I take that very seriously. I think even in what is some pretty tricky times that we're in, you spend any time with young people and you see the promise of the future. So I'm really invested in the success of my children and their peers, and I am very acutely aware that their success isn't just dependent on my wife and my family's influence and my own influence on them. It depends on the strength of the community the strength of the schools. I see in my role how college students, those that come from strong school districts, how they are already primed to succeed and contribute. And that's what I think we need to continue to do in Manheim Township, create those strong, safe environments so that kids see the future and also see their future here and come back and invest in their communities. So it's a really great honor to have this opportunity to give this a shot. And I hope I get the chance to work with you all. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Mark Olds. Please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experience.
Well, good evening, and once again, I'm glad to be with so many of our neighbors who are so passionate about this district. I'm so glad to see so many of you showed up again. I'm Mark Olds. I've been in the district for 23 years. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've been a volunteer here for sports and for in the schools for helping with literacy stuff in elementary level. And when I'm looking at what this district has to do in the next 18 months, 2 years, you need to find a new superintendent, right? That's going to take a lot of digging, and we obviously need to be a little more diligent about who we pick this time, because that person needs to provide the stability. Second thing is, I think we need to work on our facilities a little bit. And drawing on my background as an engineer, I have a lot of experience with projects and getting into the details and things like that. But your question is, what makes me the best? I don't know, guys. I'm the shortest of 3 brothers. I don't consider myself in the superlative like that, because to myself, you can always be better. So I don't ever see myself as best. There's always something better you can do. So I feel like that's part of the reason I'm even here tonight, is because it was like 7-8 years ago that I went to my first board meeting and got up and spoke. And I think I sweated through a suit doing that. But I've been gradually coming to more of these and talking with all of you. It's important that people from diverse backgrounds are on this board who bring different perspectives. And I think that's something that I bring. I also want to thank you guys for the new blue track. We were out there the other day, and I was making sure that the new kids aren't dragging their feet. We don't want that track to scuff up really fast. And they didn't understand what I was talking about, but I explained it to them. This is the kind of thing that we need to do. Anyway, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody else's time. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Miss Alyssa Curtis. Welcome, and please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experience.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alyssa. I go by Allie Curtis. Like many of you here, I have 2 young boys, and my youngest son is in kindergarten right now at Schaefer, and then I have a son in pre-K who will be in Schaefer kindergarten next year. So for me, this is an opportunity to help give back to the community that helped shape me. I'm a 2008 township grad. I was part of the Spanish immersion program as well, so I was the second class through there. That helped really shape me. That's what I studied in college. I continue to leverage some of my Spanish skills now, but really I wanted to give back to the community, and I think this is a great way to help do that. In my professional life, I have a lot of partners, and I meet with a lot of stakeholders to help make big decisions on different training programs that we develop and implement in various warehouses. So I feel like I am a strong collaborator, and I love partnering and just getting to know people and figuring out how we can work together to reach our goals ultimately. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Miss Lisa Reed. Please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and...
Okay. Hello, Lisa Reed. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
I'm a parent. I have 3 children currently in Manheim Township schools. I have a 6th grader at Landis Run, a 4th grader at Ride-and-Ball, and then a 2nd grader at Ride-and-Ball. I'm extremely active in our schools. I'm there almost daily between Ride-and-Ball and Landis Run. I'm on the PTO at both schools. Every event that we have, I'm either chairing it or I'm involved in it in some capacity of volunteering. I coach Girls on the Run at both schools. I'm also a junior achievement volunteer. So I am in there, and I think when our families and staff see someone coming in every day quietly, getting things done for them, you kind of build a rapport with them where you're approachable, they can come to you, you see things, you hear things. And then I'm also invested in the community. I'm on the board for the Manheim Township Youth Football and Cheer Association as their secretary and the concession director. Also on the board for Manheim Township Age Group Swim as their concession director. So again, out in the community, families see you, you're approachable. You kind of build that rapport like in the schools. So I think what would really benefit our board is having somebody with that can bring that perspective here of what's, decisions that are made, how it impacts on the ground in those schools, impacts our teachers and our students. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Miss Jessica Kaler. Please describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences.
Hi, everyone. Looking at you all, I think we have a very strong board, and I'm aware that you all, except Mr. Rivera, were elected, and as such, that means our community has trusted you. I humbly see that as we stand here asking you to consider who should join you in what you're doing and what the public has chosen you to do. I don't know if I'm optimal, but I think that I have some skills that would be helpful. Knowing that you are elected and how well you work together, I am good at being part of a team. I'm good at listening and asking questions. I'm good at saying hard things and hopefully doing it kindly. There was one time that I came to Dr. Alad at the high school, and I had a concern about Rachel's Challenge, which I know is a beloved program. But when my, at the time, freshman daughter came to me, hurt and kind of traumatized by it, it was something that I felt I needed to talk to him about. And I did, and he received what I had to say very kindly and humbly. And so much so that 3 years later, this year, he called me back when he let me know they were bringing the program back, and he wanted my input. He wanted me to read over the communication they were going to send out to the parents. And that meant a lot to me, to know that he respected my opinion enough that he would ask for that input. And that's important to me, I think, being heard as well as hearing. I have 2 teenage daughters, so I do a lot of hearing. And I hope I'm heard at times too. I also work at Millersville in the Department of Education. I'm so glad you'll have Dr. Drayon coming in. He's a colleague and he's wonderful. I mentor student teachers in their placements throughout Lancaster County and working with cooperating teachers throughout the county, as well as the newest educators that we'll be welcoming. It's such a wonderful privilege, and it's given me a lot of opportunity to get better at listening and watching and building community in schools and being part of it. So that is what I hope I would bring, an education background with a real care for hearing and being heard and being part of a team that's been trusted already. Thank you.
Okay. We are on to our last person. You're flying through this. Last up is Miss Holly Rubik.
Good
Please
evening.
describe.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you already.
Go
Please
ahead.
describe why you are the optimal candidate to serve on the school board, drawing on your skills and experiences. Thank you.
I will start with some personal information. I believe that both personally and professionally, I bring a unique perspective. Personally, my family includes 3 foster children, and we are right on the edge of adoption with them. But one attends Landis Run, one attends Booker, and then I have a little 3-year-old that keeps me very busy and running around quite a bit, and he will attend Ride and Ball, actually. I moved a year ago, stayed within the township because I was so impressed with what happened with the transition with my 9 and 11-year-old when they came to township from another nearby urban district. When they came to us in December of 2022, they brought a lot of behaviors and the lack of academic skills. And they both went to Booker and were accepted with open arms and such professionalism and such skill among the staff there that it just was so impressive. They came with very little, one with no reading skills and the other one with very little reading skills. And within 1 year, they were proficient as readers. And it just blew us away. And in fact, when we moved a year ago, actually moved to the Ride and Ball district or Ride and Ball elementary zone, we asked for special permission to get our now 4th grader to stay at Booker. She has a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of transition and trauma in her life before she came to us. And with Dr. Martin's just championing that idea, and Mrs. Nowak being the one to give final approval of that, and I said, I will drive her to Booker every day and pick her up every day. And that is what we're doing for this year. And I think it just made such a difference for her. So she will be quite prepared to start a new school with new people at Landis Run next year. And so that just spoke volumes to me. So as a foster mom, I have a 28-year-old daughter, but as of my second go-round, not a spring chicken anymore, but with these 3 young ones and all of what they brought to the table and still bring to the table, I am learning every day just how beautiful they are and what skills and potential they have. And there are a lot of challenges too. I'm tired a lot. Let me switch over to the professional side.
Oh, I am sorry. I hate to do that.
Okay, all done?
Your time expired a little while ago. Yeah.
Well, it's in my
we'll look through everything you submit and everything you wrote.
Yep.
I appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, those are all our candidates. I mean, there was a single through line of dedication to our schools from every single person who came up here. I think the investment in our community is self-evident. And again, I just want to reiterate how much I appreciate everyone for showing up the way they did and for submitting such thoughtful responses to our questions and our prompts. Thank you. This isn't easy. Thank you. Our vote on the nominations and appointment of a new board member will take place next week on our voting meeting on Thursday, March 19th. Although all our applicants are welcome to attend, it is not required for an applicant to be present for the vote, since they will not be sworn in until our facilities meeting on April 2nd. Okay, and that is all I have on that. So that brings us to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Ms. Zimmerman, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Rivera. Our next meeting, as I said, is on Thursday, March 19th at 6 p.m. here in the district office. As a reminder, school board meetings can also be viewed online during the meeting or afterwards by going to our district website or the school's or the district's YouTube channel. Comments or questions for the board may be emailed to Mrs. Marshall at boardsecretary@mtwp.net, and she will make sure that we all receive it as she always does. Thank you, Mrs. Marshall. Thank you to all our Manheim Township staff, administrators, and volunteers for your dedication to our students and community. And with that, all in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.